Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Wonder Snatch. Today I have another interview with Singapore's most famous and most funny Filipino drag queen. She's Mona Kiki. Welcome, Mona.
Hi everybody, how are you?
Thank you so much for coming on my channel, Mona. I'm very happy to talk to you. Yeah, one of the first queens I ever met, I think. Like, face to face in Singapore.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true, I am.
And today we're going to do a very special tribute to two very special drag queens. And if that's something you want to see, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and ring that bell for post notifications. Alright, we'll see you in a bit. Okay, and we're back and our brows are gone. And I've actually changed my shirt because I went and got something with a bit more of a collar so I don't have to stain it later when I get it off. I was wearing my Trixie and Katya shirt just now. Oh, that's a surprise for what we're going to do. Mona,
Yes, what's up?
why don't we just start off by telling us how you started doing drag?
I started doing drag at a time I was very sick. I survived cancer. And at that time I was going through chemo, and with chemo you lose your hair, you lose that vigor, the color of vigor in your skin, so it's just like a gray thing that I had on. And it was the first time that I felt really unattractive, almost impossible to look at was how I felt. And then I was watching some YouTube videos and these queens were doing drag, and I found an eyeliner at home, drew some shapes on my face, and I'm like, wow, I look like I'm healthy again.
Wow, okay, so this was while you were having chemo.
Yes. I actually, I still have a video of that I keep just for myself. It's a very tender moment whenever I watch it, because it's like, I still feel it like it's as though it was yesterday.
Oh, that's very, very inspirational. I mean, I did hear in an interview that you did with a Not Again podcast that your first time was a skate park, some sort of pageant in a skate park, or was that the first time you went out in drag?
Oh, that was the start of my career here in Singapore. I went to the now defunct club Play, if any of you are ancient enough to remember.
So it was a gay club. I heard skate club for some reason.
Well, gay and skate, they're pretty much the same thing these days anyway. So yeah, they had a drag competition. I decided to join just because I was seeing all this spectacle on stage, and I'm like, I can do this. The next round of the competition, I signed up, joined. Eventually, I lost that contest, and here I am, still losing in life.
Let's rewind a little bit about this thing about your cancer.
Sure.
What type of cancer was it?
It's a quite rare kind of cancer, thymus cancer.
Oh, wow. Okay. So this
Yeah,
was in the
yeah.
Philippines or in Singapore?
It was still in the Philippines.
Still in the Philippines. Okay, yeah, because I did see in an interview, one of these very early interviews, you did mention that. I was going to ask you about it. I wasn't sure whether you want
research about me.
Yeah, I know your pet peeve. No, but I do a lot of research for all my guests, but I did read about it, and I was going to bring it up, but I wasn't sure whether you want to talk about it. But it was the first thing you brought up, so I'm quite
I
relieved
usually
about
don't,
that.
but
Yeah.
we're friends.
Yeah, that's quite inspirational that you actually during your chemo you put on some eyeliner, felt completely like a different person, and that was what started your interest in drag.
Drag for me at the beginning was just an exercise to kind of reclaim some form of attractiveness. Before I was ill, I looked pretty good. I was skinny, I was young, I was witty, so like the toast of the town sort of. And then when I got sick, it's as if all that attractiveness melted away with everything else that cancer stripped of me. Drag was a way of kind of getting some of that back. I had a new lease on life because of that, because I was sure I wasn't gonna be enjoying the rest of my life if I looked like that, like bald, gray, sickly. If I looked like that for the rest of my life, I wasn't sure that I was gonna be happy about it. And drag gave me the possibility of, hey, you know what? You may not look the same before all of this started, but you can be a different kind of fabulous now.
So drag did in a way save your life.
As cliched as that sounds, but
You say?
yes, that is true.
It's a cliche, but I feel kind of the same way also.
Yeah.
I think I wasted a lot of my life in that kind of a cycle of having to be the hot young gay guy.
Right, I remember.
Yeah, and looking back, it just feels like such a colossal waste of time. What do you think about that? That gay men, tend to subscribe to this very looks-oriented culture.
I think it's very pervasive. I mean, I'd like to think that I'm a person who understands the impact of these things, or at least has some view on the politics of all of this. But I still find myself making my choices in Grindr. Like, I could have the most basic choices I make on the guys that I like over Grindr. A lot of us still go for the sweet young things who have the perfect skin, the nice body, the beautiful face. And by beautiful face, most of the time, they're the faces that approach whiteness a lot more than the rest of us. But they also do that at the expense of putting down a brown, short, not necessarily muscular, fat-bodied queers in the community. So I'm boring myself to sleep. I'm sorry.
No worries. I will edit it to make us both sound excellent, interesting, and
yeah,
erect.
That would leave 3 seconds of footage.
In Philippines, you started doing drag there, but it wasn't really as a career, right? You just did it for fun.
Yeah. Well, when I started, I was just doing it at home. I was just I would film myself and post it on YouTube, and I would have like 2 viewers, me and me on another device.
On YouTube. So is that still up? Is that something we can link to?
Yes, but I am not linking it. I would sooner show you the skid marks in my underwear than those videos.
Also, in one of these other interviews, it seems like your name at one point was Mona Kiki Bonanza. Is that still your last name, or have you dropped that bit of it?
No, I really like the word bonanza, so I thought that was gonna be my beautiful drag name. But then I realized it's too long to keep along with Mona Kiki. And Mona Kiki is a bit more telling than Bonanza. Like, if you Google Bonanza, you're gonna get like big chunks of turkey ham and a lot of pasta before you get to a person named Bonanza.
And what does the Kiki in your name stand for? Is it Kiki as in drag queens Kiki, or is there some other meaning?
No, actually, it's totally unrelated. Mona Kiki is actually a t-shirt brand name in the Philippines.
Oh, is it? Oh, cool. References that we don't get here.
Yeah. But it's actually, the funny thing is that t-shirt brand was quite big in the 80s. So if a Filipino says, "Oh, Mona Kiki, the t-shirt brand," I kind of know your age at that point. This t-shirt brand was kind of noted as a prize in some noontime television show. In this television show, they would challenge regular people to do something that is very difficult, and at the end of it, they get a t-shirt, a Mona Kiki t-shirt. So the challenge would be like, dip your hand in a vat of boiling oil, or swim in a pool of crocodiles. Huh? I'm exaggerating, but like something like that, like small challenges like that that are painful and kind of difficult, and people line up to play that game, and at the end of it, they get the grand prize of a Mona Kiki t-shirt.
Oh, okay.
For the life of me, I still don't understand why people would do that, but they do. They did.
For all Singaporeans watching this, now you know the origin of that name. I think very few of us here knew.
You have to forgive me. I'm not used to talking while I'm painting my face.
I know. You said in another interview, I did a really deep dive that you don't usually talk during your makeup, right? You're usually saying it quietly. So I was a bit worried that I would put you. It would be a bit out of your element as well.
Yeah, it's very, very, very strange for me. When I paint my face, it's pretty much a meditative moment for me. Mm-hmm. So like, I've had queens ask me when I would paint, like backstage on a show, like when I paint my face, and then for like the entire time I wouldn't talk to them. They would ask me, "Are you angry at me or something? Because you did not talk to me the entire time." And I'm like, "That's just the way I work."
I'm pretty much the same. I think it did take me a while to get used to this interview format, but I think I really like it because it really it disarms you a little bit, I think, and it relaxes because you're in a meditative space, you're a bit more relaxed, I feel. I don't know whether you feel that.
Yeah. That makes sense. And I think it's one of the embarrassments I have about the way I work, because there's a lot of really nice chit chat happening backstage, and I miss out on a lot of that because of the way I work. So my work around usually, so I can participate in these conversations, is I paint my face at home, arrive at the space,
And then
ready
socialize.
to go. I just sit there to socialize with them while they're painting their faces.
Do you feel that your energy is really different when in drag and when you're not?
Oh, for sure. Me in drag is essentially me with a megaphone fitted on me.
Yeah,
As loud as I am.
I want to attest to that because when you're in drag, oh, okay, that's a Mona Kiki I know. That's a Mona Kiki I know. Even in drag, I don't think I'm like, unless I'm on stage, I'm not like super loud. But you
Because
are.
you're a lady.
You can hear you coming from a mile away.
Yeah, I've been told that dogs in Malaysia wake up whenever I laugh. I've already messed up my face.
How so?
So I haven't done drag in forever. I legit spent an hour looking for my makeup in my apartment just because I've forgotten where I put everything.
Oh no, when was the last time you did drag?
I think it was Pride 2020.
Wow, that's about like
It's been
more than
that
6
long.
months ago.
Yeah.
Wow, the pandemic must have really scuppered your drag. Performing?
Indeed, for sure. I used to do Riot monthly.
Yep.
That was a really regular thing for me. And then that was put on hold because of the pandemic. I used to do other shows too. And then all of that suddenly just stopped.
It just dried up, yeah.
Yeah, it was a very weird time because I usually draw a lot. I use drag as a channel for all my energy. It's pretty much the only physical activity I do. It gets my heart racing.
And you don't feel compelled to do drag even when you don't have a gig?
I'd like to, but also I find it like too much work, like getting dressed up. Because the what I enjoy about drag is being in front of people, performing, and putting on the makeup is a part of that. But for me, it's just a very small part of what I enjoy about it. So like, it's like getting dressed for the symphony and then just washing the dishes. It's like, it feels incomplete.
Well, I'm very happy to give you an excuse to put on drag today.
I know, you have no idea how grateful I am. Thank you so much. You know, for the longest time, I imagined that you hated me.
Me?
That's why you wouldn't... Yeah, that you hated me.
Why?
That's why you wouldn't... Because we hardly ever talk.
Oh, no, you know...
And I'm like...
I'm not... I am not the type that can talk in a club. Okay, in a club or a bar... Okay, if I'm performing, I'm totally absorbed in what I'm about to do and I cannot talk to anyone.
Right.
In a club or a bar, I just don't like shouting over music and I really hate shouting and then people, you know, it just seems artificial. So I've never really been a club person, which, you know, is not the best for drag queen, which is why I found YouTube. But
you're a very hardworking queen in YouTube.
Yeah.
You are so prolific. How often do you get these out? Like every 2 weeks, right?
The interviews I do maybe about one every 2 to 3 weeks, but I intersperse with videos in between. So I actually film about twice a week if I can.
Jesus Christ. You are so hardworking.
Yeah, no, I think for YouTube, I'm a bit of a slave to the algorithm at the moment.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You're gaming the system.
Trying to.
If there's anyone who could do it, it better be you. How did you get started with this idea of going on YouTube? Is it just because you wanted to do drag and club drag isn't kind of a space that you feel comfortable in?
That's one of the reasons. I think in club drag, because I'm not much of a lip syncer, so for club drag, you know, when people lip sync top 40 stuff, it's not something that I think I'm very good at. So I did do,
Uh-huh.
you know, more cabaret, live singing kind of things, but those are really rare in Singapore. One of the reasons was also I really wanted to give myself a reason to do makeup a little bit more and to start improving and to start, you know, really challenging myself to do something new and different each time. And I think that really helps with the skill, because before YouTube, I would just sit in a room and put on makeup and wipe it off, or put on makeup, go to the club for 20 minutes, my feet hurt and I come back and then wipe it off.
Right.
Whereas
It's
this,
the pain of the heels that's
yeah,
quite punishing, no?
whereas this, I can just do my makeup at home and pretty much have probably more people see it online rather than going out. Because, you know, when you're going out, it's so ephemeral also. There's not much engagement. I feel like YouTube gives me a little bit more engagement with people who are interested in my drag.
Yeah, you're right. And YouTube is kind of that channel. Like, I think you're engaging with the kind of people that you want to engage with, because the kind of videos that you make, they really need you to stay put, be in the moment with you. And because like TikTok, Instagram, they're like 5-second, 8-second situations.
Yeah.
And it caters to a very specific audience, but you want to have proper conversations, you want to get some information out there, and YouTube kind of affords you that space. So I think
exactly.
To me, it sounds like a good fit.
Yes, thank you. And also, ever since I started doing this, I must say, I've had a lot of amazing response from people in the Philippines, if any of you are watching.
You do?
Yeah,
Really?
Filipinos love drag, don't they? It's a huge thing in the Philippines.
It is. It's become a symbol of glamour and sophistication in a way that I had not imagined when I was living there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. It has always been a symbol of glamour and sophistication, but finally people in Manila are realizing that and are taking it to a level that seems to be more visible or outside the countryside.
Well, what do you mean? You think drag was more of a countryside thing rather than a big city Manila thing?
For sure. So we have a long history of drag pageantry in the Philippines. So they have families, and each family would have
like houses.
A similar aesthetic. Like houses, right? We'd call it family, so they would have like a family name that they share. I'm not very familiar with the names, but like say for example, I would be this is just a random name. I would be a Del Mundo. I become a Del Mundo. I will be Mona Del Mundo, and their expectations of me being a Del Mundo is that I would have an amazing body. My face may be just okay, but my body would be snatched to the gods.
Okay, so
It's unclockable. They have brands by the family names, and they are always geared towards beauty pageants.
also it's very much like America, huh? They have this whole pageant scene. The Philippines seem to be like almost like a Brazil of the East. Do you think that the way that they approach drag, or how big fans of Drag Race they are?
If by Brazil you mean that they're drag race crazy,
Yeah.
yes. People in the Philippines are drag race crazy. A lot of the Ru girls who go there, they have very nice words to say about the scene in Manila. Yeah, I wish that kind of energy could also be shared outside Manila, but yeah, that's also quite true.
Yeah, I've been approached by so many of these Drag Race fans online. I've judged a couple of their online drag competitions. Yeah.
Look at you judging queens.
They're really, really sweet. I mean, it's not really queens, but they have these art competitions and stuff. And I just give my 2 cents about their art. They're all super talented and they're all so enthusiastic. I find it very, very fun. Your
Right.
fellow countrymen.
Yeah, there's a lot of creativity in the Philippines, and what I find amazing is we don't have as much access to resources as much as other performers in other countries, but we still kind of make it work. Like for Christ's sakes, if you order something online, it's a tall wish to expect it to come on time or for it to come at all.
Yeah, I feel so bad because
Go ahead.
one of my giveaways was actually someone in the Philippines won that, and she still hasn't received it yet. I sent it off like 2 months ago.
And it's probably been stolen by some postman who has fake breasts now.
Oh no, yeah. Okay, Sen, if you're hearing that, I think that's where your giveaway has ended up.
That's probably where it is.
Okay, so I had to do a bit of the Trixie eyeliner off camera. It's very hard to talk when I do that. If they haven't figured out who we're doing yet from the thumbnail. I think in one of your interviews, you also mentioned that you had a bit of an issue coming out to your family as gay and as a drag queen. Is everything okay with them now?
Right. No, we didn't talk about it, not because it was a negative thing. We just didn't talk about it. My mother visited Singapore one time, and it came at the time I was performing. She was with my friend. My friend was telling me, your mother is adorable. She is so nervous. She is very nervous for you. Like, she was saying, oh my God, is she going to trip and fall over? Is her wig gonna fall off? Are the
That's
people
adorable.
gonna boo? It's adorable because she was more nervous than I was. And I was like, yeah, I wish my wig would fall off so I have something interesting happening on stage.
So your family is quite supportive.
Yeah, they are, yeah. Whenever they're here and they're a show, they come and watch. One time, one of my friends asked them, so who's your favorite drag queen? And my mother goes without missing a beat, Norris!
Norris.
Like, Ma, I'm right here, literally beside you.
Oh, well, so your parents sound pretty cool.
My father once threw a tantrum because he had requested me for so many times to do a number of Shirley Bassey, and I have never gotten around to doing it. So I still owe that number to my father.
I think I'm quite lucky too. My dad is also quite supportive. I think he's been to all my shows.
Oh, that's lovely. He gets what's happening on stage, or is he usually very confused? Because you usually perform with a lot of drag queens.
Oh no, he does. In fact, my father has done drag too.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
So it runs in the
And he's very
family.
proud. Every time he comes to my show, he whips out his phone to show everybody the time he did drag. It's like he needs a spotlight.
That is adorable. That is adorable. I need to see your father in drag. Post his pictures.
I'll post it up here.
That would be awesome.
Sorry, Pa. This is now public domain.
Yeah, sorry. The queens have demanded it.
Do you feel that homophobia or misogyny when it comes to drag is more prevalent in Singapore than the Philippines?
I'm not gonna say more, but in a very different way.
How so?
It's true. So, like, one of the adjustments I had to make when I was new in Singapore was that being gay is something that I could never bring up or could never even talk about. Whereas in the Philippines, it's thought of as adorable or as entertaining or it's nice to have. But in here, I was like, keep it down, keep it on the down low. It's embarrassing, it's unprofessional. That's something that I experienced at work.
Still, now, even to this day?
To this day, no. That happened maybe 8 to 10 years ago. So I would
When you
I
first
would
moved to Singapore?
Yeah, when I moved to Singapore, I would get clocked for painting my eyebrows. I used to paint my nails. Somebody at the office asked me like, "Can you tone it down? We have clients coming in. When your nails are lacquered, it looks unprofessional." Now it's a very different conversation. My bosses are telling me like. So this is how my annual review goes with them. So like, you're okay. Not a lot of concerns about your work. We're very confident that you can do it. But can you inject more personality? Because I don't see the drag queen that you are at work. We want to see more of that. And I'm like,
oh, now they want to see more of that. Wow. What do they mean when they say that? Is they want to your gregariousness? What do they mean?
I still don't know what they mean, but. Because at the office, I'm very square. I'm very like, this is what you need. Okay, here's how it goes. Let's take this forward. Like, almost entirely a different person. Like, you will not recognize me the way I talk at work. You would not think that it's the same Mona Kiki who goes on stage. It's a comment I get a lot from very different people.
And that's a conscious thing you're doing?
It's become subconscious now because Because think about this, ever since I was young, I was told to keep it on the down low. When I started working, I was rewarded for being able to formal in front of clients, being stiff, as opposed to being loud and practically visibly effeminate. So I've established already a persona that I am comfortable with. So now that they're asking me to reconstruct that persona, it's a lot of work for me that I'm probably not willing to go through that. I encourage everybody else, the people that I work with, that they be who they are. If they want to wear painted nails and drawn on eyebrows, I don't mind. But for me, I don't think it's gonna work anymore. I'm already set in my ways as it is.
It is good to have a bit of a separation, I think. Yeah, I think a couple of times I went to work with studs in my earrings and was told to take them off. And I said, no, I have to keep them in to keep my ear holes open. And then they backed off.
Right. I mean, you could have just said no, and I'm sure they would have backed off. You're a pretty formidable person at work, I imagine.
Oh, no. But they did very nervously ask me why I was wearing earrings on both sides.
Because fashion. Do you get into a lot of trouble for being queer at work?
In Singapore, I guess you say, it's pretty much something that's unsaid. So I think everyone knows, and everyone knows who my partner is. But and people just accept it. But it's not something that they, people talk about. And I think they know how much I like performing. So I'm automatically singing for every function at work. So at least they know.
Victoria, if I had your talent, I would never speak. I would just be singing my way through conversations.
Oh, trust me, people do not like that. I would do that sometimes.
I was really impressed. I was very excited to when I met you that you were gonna do some live singing, because I like drag queens who sing. I don't know, there's something about singing, like live singing drag queens, that I find quite interesting. How did you decide that was going to be the thing that you would be doing as Victoria?
Before I ever started drag, I was always a musical theatre nut. So I used to go to open mics. I used to do a lot of cabaret and everything, but I never did it in drag. I always shied away from doing it in drag for a long, long time because I thought, it's just too much stress. Singing with a corset on, singing with full makeup on and everything. But, it was a logical next challenge for me to try to do it. Mm-hmm. It's still quite difficult, trying to get everything together in heels and in a corset. And then, you're not really in a fully relaxed state to sing. So it's something that I'm still trying to work on. Yeah.
Right. I can imagine there's also this layer of challenge because places that accommodate drag performances aren't necessarily fitted for live singing. So like, for example,
yes.
Right? So like you don't come off as the performer that you have in your head because of the limitations of the space that you're performing in. Is that
absolutely
fair to say?
I mean, even in Riot, the last Riot I performed at, Becca did warn me several times. Saying the sound system is not going to be the best, the mics are not going to be the best, you can't have a live piano and everything. And I'm like, I don't care, I'm doing it. And things did go wrong, but I mean, I think I had a great time anyway. I really, really enjoy performing at Riot. In America, when I was studying there, there was a lot of cabaret and a lot of these small piano bars, which I envision is where I would probably be most comfortable performing in. So that's something that is in the works at the moment. I'm trying to, when things start coming up again, I'm going to try to see whether I can make that a reality here.
That would be awesome. Did you perform when you were in America?
I did a whole bunch of cabaret.
That's lovely.
Off-Broadway bars and piano bars. I used to go, maybe I perform every 2 to 3 months.
Oh, that's lovely. Did you enjoy doing it?
Oh yeah, I really, really miss doing it. It was the most rewarding thing of my time in America. I mean, of course, my time in America was marred by the 2016 elections.
Right.
Yeah. And it's something that I want to also try to bring to Singapore because I think that's something that Singapore doesn't really have. And I think when I came back, I did 2 shows. I did these cabarets, mainly for charity, and they weren't ticketed or anything, but they were just for friends. And it was really, really fun. Yeah, and I really had a great time preparing the numbers, doing the outfits and everything, and doing the set list. And that's the kind of shows that I want to do more of.
Right. Yeah, it's quite impressive when the hostess interacts quite closely with the audience, and I think what you're envisioning is something that could make that happen. It's gonna be fun. Do you ever lip sync though, or only live vocals all the time?
I do. So in my last show, I tried to do a mix. I lip synced to one number. Yeah, it didn't go well. I fell, my wig fell off.
It did.
Yeah.
I hope it happened at Riot because I love Riot.
No, it wasn't. It was at my last
shame.
show, October Snatch.
Oh,
My
right,
Oktoberfest
right.
party.
No, because wigs falling off at Riot. Other drag queens imagine it's a failure, but like actually, people lap it up at Riot when things don't go the way they
Yes,
should be.
it makes you memorable, right?
Right, or at least that's how I imagine it.
Speaking about Riot, your numbers at Riot are always a riot. Pardon the pun. You are one of the drag queens that I will, if I'm backstage, run to the front to watch when your number comes on.
Oh, you're very sweet. I enjoy doing those numbers there because it's. I like numbers that are high energy, almost always familiar to the audience. I like seeing the crowd bopping to whatever it is I'm doing. So maybe that's why a lot of people tend to like my numbers. What do you like about the performances I do?
I just think you have such a crazy, almost unhinged sense of humor whenever you're performing. There's this animal noise number that you do where you're just basically screaming at the audience with this chicken out. Is it a chicken outfit that you're wearing or something?
Yeah. I remember that.
How do you come up with your numbers?
I listen to music that I like, so I imagine this would be good for performing. I don't know what I'll be doing in that number, but I like the music, I like the beat. This is a number I can perform to where people will kind of like bop with. And then I listen to that song over and over and over as in it's on loop. At some point, an idea will come to me, like maybe I pick up a phrase that's happening in the song, I make a pun of it, or I relate it to something that's happening that people know about. And then I build a number around it that way.
The songs that you pick, you just hear them. I mean, how will you ever come across that song?
Oh, a thousand sources. So like I think I'm part of maybe this group that posted something shitty. I'm like, what the fuck is this video? And then I saw the video of that chicken song. I was like, this number is so stupid. I need to perform this. It had the sounds of 1,000 farm animals. That was so cool.
That was a hilarious number. It has to be part of your signature repertoire.
It's so funny though. I didn't think of the shtick I would go with that number up until maybe a day before I performed it. I couldn't. I know I would perform the song. I didn't know what I was gonna do. But my numbers are quite predictable, no? Like you kind of know what you'll expect if Mona's gonna be called on stage.
You can call it predictable, but you can also call that your trademark, your brand. No one else is doing crazy stuff like that. I think it's very unique.
Oh well, thank you. I'm one of those drag queens who celebrate my being boring. As much as you imagine me being creative, I really am not a creative person. I don't create. I enjoy putting things together. I guess that's creativity, but yeah.
Come on, you can't be a drag queen and not be creative.
Well, the jury's still out on that.
Other than Riot, where else do you perform? You used to host some bingo as well?
Yeah, I used to host bingo at the W Sentosa. They hired me for a 10-hour brunch that ran for a couple of months. They also were curious about running drag bingo for Pride. It was very successful, so they had to run it. They ran it a few more times. A lot of people enjoyed it. So they posted an ad about the event, and then old women saw it, and they went to the event not realizing that it was gonna be a drag queen hosting the bingo.
And what was the response to that?
Oh, they loved it. These women
Wow.
love to be disrespected, and because I think they're used to being how shall I say it? They're used to being treated nicely wherever they go, and here I was, a drag queen looking like a clown. giving them zero respect. So they like being. It's like maybe it's close to the experience of being peed on. Those old ladies
Huh?
like being peed on.
What?
I was there to oblige. Wow, you are painting really, really fast and really, really well.
I was watching all of Trixie's makeup tutorials yesterday. I did do Trixie's makeup once before,
You did,
but
yeah.
I'm trying to do her new makeup, her
Makeup
her
line.
mod look. Are there any other drag queens that you look up to? I mean, from anywhere in the world, celebrity drag queens or even like local drag queen?
Yeah, my favorite drag queens are in Singapore are my friends. So Becca the Bus, Ashley 50. I like the work that you do. Norris.
Yay!
They're top of mind, but I also am a fan of the hard rock legends. Sorry, I'm heavily medicated. I can't remember everyone's name. I also like the look of Raven.
Oh yeah.
For RuPaul's Drag Race. It's been said that she revolutionized the look of drag. with her
Definitely,
makeup,
yeah.
and I tend to agree.
Is she your biggest makeup inspiration?
Embarrassingly so, yes. I really like how snatched her face is. And I'm like, I've been looking at her face since I first saw her like maybe 10, 11 years ago. And I'm still like enthralled by how beautiful it is.
Yeah, RuPaul's face is looking better and better. I mean, are you watching this season of Drag Race?
I am, yeah. Raven sometimes gets the color wrong, but yeah, she's good. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
You're a huge fan of the show, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan. I started doing Drag Race reviews, but yeah, they're a lot of work, but I think people seem to like them.
Oh, that's good.
Do you intend to stay in Singapore for a long time, or do you intend to go back to Philippines at some point?
Yeah, I'd love to stay here for as long as I could. Singapore has become a home for me already. So I visited the Philippines after being gone for like 10 years. When I stayed there, everything was foreign to me, which is strange because that's where I grew up. But I practically knew nobody. I didn't know where places were. Whereas in Singapore, show me a picture of a place in Singapore and I can tell you where that place is.
Oh, so this is home for you now.
It is, yeah. I mean, people here have treated me very kindly, so I'm very grateful for that.
Is there anything about your drag that you haven't done that you want to do?
Yeah, certainly a lot. I want to be a little bit more clear with whatever it is I'm putting out there, because I find myself kind of struggling getting a strong message out. So, like, for example, I want to poke fun at religion quite intensely. Certainly, I cannot do that in Singapore.
Why not? You can find a clever way to do it. If you find a subtle way to do it.
Those are two things I will never be: clever and subtle. So, there you go.
Wouldn't it be even harder to do it in the Philippines? They're quite religious. They're even more religious there, aren't they?
Well, as I always say, we are religious on paper. We go to church every Sunday, but then we fuck our boyfriends anyway. Or like, we are pro-life, but we wear condoms when we have sex. So it's not really that staunchly Catholic where they think it counts.
In Singapore, where do you think you would do this? I think, would it be Riot?
Riot certainly gives me the audience that will appreciate that kind of entertainment. When I do my shows, I tend to poke fun at that. Like when I host bingos or when I host my own shows, I tend to push that a little bit. I tend to do the more controversial things at Riot and also in shows that I host that are much smaller, more private, where I know more people.
Are you listening to the podcast of the AWARE Saga? Have you heard about that?
I am so engrossed by it.
Yeah.
It's gripping.
Religion is really a funny thing, isn't it? Yeah.
You're following it religiously, I am sure.
Yeah, I know. I'm totally engrossed by it too. I've been listening to it like as the minute it comes out, I'll listen to it.
You're a very young person. Were you already around when this was happening?
I was back in Singapore, but I think my awareness for all these things was not great. Those were the days of the, yeah. I think I was pretty self-absorbed at the time. What are you doing now? Lips?
I'm just doing my mouth, yeah.
Oh, okay.
What are you doing?
Yeah, me too. I'm going into my TRIXIE lips, which are really overdrawn.
You are putting a lot of thought into this. I am impressed.
Oh, so, do you have a partner now? Are you attached?
No, I am not. I am very single and dangerously ready to mingle.
Do you find drag gets in the way of romantic relationships?
Maybe not romantic, but certainly in sexual relationships. There are still idiots out there who would get a hard-on for me and then block me the moment they realize I'm a drag queen. But I realized that in terms of dating, it actually gets me mileage.
Oh yeah?
The men I date find it interesting that I'm a drag queen, so that helps. I'm sure it also helps that it's easier for them to see me in my element because I don't have to bring them to the office. I just go to a club where they have always been welcome to go, and they see me interact with people. So they see me work at my best. So I think that offers a unique perspective into someone you're dating.
I've asked this actually of quite a few other drag queens here, and I think in Singapore people are a lot more accepting than I would have expected when I first started all this.
I mean, like, we also have very beautiful drag queens here in and out of drag. So if your dick is stiff, you're probably gonna tap that anyway. None of what I'm saying is gonna end up on the video, I'm sure.
Well, we'll see. I'm using Trixie's favorite lipstick. This is Tea and Cookies. She's recommended this on the channel and immediately bought it after she said.
Is it good? Do you like it?
Yeah, it's very opaque.
Are her products good?
I actually don't have any of Trixie's stuff. Sadly, I have a lot of kimchi stuff, but Trixie stuff sell out so fast that Yeah, I really wanted to get her new blush palette, but that sold out like the minute it was announced.
God, the phenomenon of the Rue girls, right? They could shit in a bag and then sell it for thousands of dollars, and someone would pick it up in second.
Currently, I think influencer culture is really, really strong. The cosmetic companies that really do well because of influencers. And I think I find myself also much more influenced by influencers rather than, celebrities or big brands or anything like that. Yeah.
Right. Because you get the impression that they're more off the cuff. So if
yeah,
really
and
like it,
you trust them.
Like
Yeah. All right, so I think we're both almost done. So we're just going to put on our finishing touches and we'll be back with the finished looks. All right, see you in a bit.
All right.
And these are our finished looks. Because it's our show and not yours.
Well, still their show.
This is our Trixie and Katya looks for this interview. Mona, Kiki, thank you so much for coming on my channel.
I always come wherever I'm asked.
I hope you had fun. Mona, why don't you tell them where people can find you on the internets?
Yes, I am on Instagram at Mona Kiki, MonaKeekee. And wherever you watch porn, I'm always there.
Oh, do you have an OnlyFans?
Well, that's for amateurs. I go hardcore, babes.
Alright, so thank you again for coming on my channel. And if you like this video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and ring that bell for post notifications. Pop off, sis! This is a Trixie Mattel catchphrase. And of course, don't start, Patty. Alright, bye Mona, thank you.
Bye, Victoria. Mwah. Thanks for having me.
Pop off, sis. Don't start, Patty. Watch my other interviews. I interviewed Vanda Miss Joachim here And Arya done there. Bye.
You give me